We got hot pussy, cold pussy, we got wet pussy, we got smelly pussy.
Dude, it's all just vampire pussy at the end of the day.
Nothing better. Hey everyone, welcome to Straight Jacket Talk, where it's two guys, a girl, and a horror show. My name is Kevin, and I'm joined by a guy whose name is Nathan, but he prefers to go by Sex Machine. It's Nathan. Oh, sorry, Sex Machine.
I have a penis gun.
Yeah, you do.
Can you show it to us?
No, that's against TOS.
Unfortunate.
Sorry.
Boo. I'm also joined by a girl who was kicked out of the Titty Twister. It's Gill.
Why did I get kicked out?
You're not a trucker.
I would be working in the Titty Twister, first of all, but appreciate it.
I was going to say maybe you rival Salma Hayek with the snake dance.
Ooh, I have a question about that. We can talk about it later.
We watched From Dusk Till Dawn from 1996. It was written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Robert Rodriguez. This also stars Quentin Tarantino. I used to think that this movie was also directed by Quentin Tarantino because it's become like his movie.
Yeah, it seems like any movie that Quentin Tarantino is a part of kind of becomes his movie in people's minds. You can very much tell it's directed by Robert Rodriguez if you like his work at all.
For sure. This also stars George Clooney in his first major motion picture role. So he's out of ER and into the vampire stuff.
The way it should be.
He's a dreamboat.
Oh, you like him?
Oh yeah, he's a sexy guy.
I agree.
Quentin Tarantino, not so much, but
Definitely not. Downgrade.
this movie has an ensemble cast, does it not? We have Harvey Keitel, Salma Hayek, Juliette Lewis, Cheech Marin, Danny Trejo, Tom Savini, and Fred Williamson. I mean, this is like the who's who of of horror and other movies.
You forgot a couple. There's also Cheech Marin and Cheech Marin.
Dude, he's an all-star in this movie, is he not?
He's great. Every time he shows up on screen, I'm happy. No matter which role it is he's in, because he plays 3 roles in this movie. And just nobody even notices. Nobody, like, they're not twins.
Bats
it's
an
not
eye.
a thing. Like, yeah. You know.
That was confusing for me, actually. Everyone looked the same to me.
Well, that's because Cheech Marin 3 times.
I've seen this movie 100 times, and I don't know why, but I never remember that. So every time I see it, I'm like, holy cow, it's Cheech again. Again. Oh, my goodness. From Dusk Till Dawn had a budget of $19 million. Do you know how much it made at the box office? Nathan.
Well, it must have been successful enough that he was able to do Pulp Fiction. So what did you say, 19? I'll go $60 million.
I could be wrong, but I think Pulp Fiction came out before this.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Yeah, 94. You're right. Anyway.
I'll get the points. Nathan admitted I'm right. Woo!
Yeah.
You said 60 million.
60 million, yeah.
Jill, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm thinking 72,500 mil.
Wait, what?
72.
72.5 million?
Yeah,
Okay.
but 500.
500,000?
I don't know. I just wanted to add 500.
Well, regardless.
Not great at math.
72 million and 500?
At 500 million.
Wait, what?
72,
So
500 million.
So 572 million?
This number is getting
No.
stretched out here.
72 million. 500, whatever thousand. Yeah.
Okay. So-
100,000 billion. 500.
Well, you're both over. Jill by a lot.
Oh boy.
I don't know numbers.
It did not do well, then I take it.
No, Nathan, you're actually pretty close. You're just barely
Okay.
over it. Gross $59.3 million. So you're
Damn.
like right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was reasonably successful then.
Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, From Dusk Till Dawn has a 65% critic score and a 76% audience score. Our good friend Roger Ebert, he actually didn't mind this movie.
Oh,
he gave From
God.
Dusk
Give it
Till
a
Dawn
thumbs up. Yeah.
3 out of 4 stars.
God, I don't care what that man says. Like, at all. Sorry.
Oh my
No
goodness.
worries.
Well, I hope you care what we all think. Before we go any further, if you could please hit that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because when we have a new video, you'll be the first to know. Isn't that right, Sex Machine?
Yes, it's a privilege.
This was Nathan's pick for an episode. So Nathan, why did you choose From Dusk Till Dawn for us to review?
I mostly chose it because I hadn't seen it in a good 5 or 6 years. And I wanted to watch it again, and this is a good excuse. But yeah, I mean, the first time I watched this movie, I was, 14 or 15 years old, and it was on TV. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had never heard of this movie before at the time. So when it all of a sudden turned to vampires, my mind was just blown because I suppose we should have put a spoiler warning in there, because I mean, I know it's old, but the vampire twist, if you know about it already when you watch it, kind of ruins it, I think.
Dude, this movie is almost 30 years old.
I know,
Come on.
I know, but I don't want to like.
It does ruin it because
Yeah.
I had never seen it before, but I've seen some of the sequels, right?
So you knew about the vampires.
I knew about the vampires, but this went on way too long without the vampires because I'm waiting for the vampires. I'm like,
Right.
where's the horror? I'm like, this is not horror. This is like Pulp Fiction meets like RV or like Are We There Yet or something like that. Like, where are the freaking vampires?
When I watched it, I didn't know that there were vampires, and I'm a fan of Quentin Tarantino. I'm a fan of Robert Rodriguez, so I like the crime thriller thing. Mm-hmm. So when it turned from a crime thriller into vampires, sent me over the edge. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's a cool twist when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. I love it.
So wait a minute, Jill, this is the first time you've seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah, you guys are killing me here with like two
Whoa!
like thrillers in a row. I'm just a girl.
We're just two
but
old
it's got
men.
George Clooney.
Yeah, he was hot. But okay, here's my thing, because I didn't see it before. And I've seen sequels, and I was like, okay, bring on the vampires, but not just vampires. Like, I want them to be like hot, like vampire hotties. It was a jump scare, I guess, when that first vampire, the girl with the snake,
Salma Hayek.
Yes. When she turns into a vampire. I'm like, oh God, that is so scary. That's not attractive at all. This is like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like vampires, not like hot, sexy, like romantic vampires like that I want. But yeah, I do love Buffy, but I was like, God damn.
There's a few sexy vampires in there.
I guess they start looking like kind of like werewolves, you
They
know,
do.
like, yeah. So it's like
A little bit.
I did like the effects though. And I like Tom Savini's vampire a lot. I thought that was so funny when he's like turning into a vampire and he's trying to hide it.
He's trying to hide it. Like,
That was great.
I was
Yeah.
expecting like the sex machine gun,
Right.
yes, to explode, like, but it didn't happen. What a tease.
Yeah.
What a tease. But yeah, Tom
I'm just
Savini, great.
I'm just happy he used that gun in this, because I felt
yeah.
like that would have
Yeah.
been the ultimate tease if he just showed his pistol cock
Yeah.
and didn't use it.
True.
You can't tease that gun and then not have it go off. You just it would be like a cheat. You'd be cheating the audience.
That's cool. I'm like psyched to hear that this was your first time watching it, especially like you saw the sequels first and then this one.
That actually kind of makes me sad that you saw the sequels first.
I
I've never
know.
seen them, but I've heard nothing but bad things about them. So
I know I liked one of the ones I saw. I think it was like Rave to the Grave.
I haven't seen any of the sequels.
I think I rented it when I was a teenager, and I was like really into. Well, it was cheesy, but I was really into it. But yeah, I think it was a lot more of an updated kind of version and a different type of story because it was more like vampire focused rather than like, you know, you have this kind of crime thriller going on, and then it jumps into this vampire movie.
yeah.
Oh, that's kind of yeah. It's kind of weird. I like your like take on it because it's a unique perspective, I think. One of the things I wanted to say is actually now I'm seeing what Nathan's saying about a spoiler thing because I think it does. If you haven't seen anything and you've been sheltered and you go into this, I think it's probably the best viewing experience because when that twist happens, you're like, whoa, like, wait, you know, vampires? What is this movie? Not trying to spoil anything, but a newer movie called Sinners has kind of some similar flavors to From Dusk Till Dawn. And what is cool is Sinners out and doing really well, I think has shined light on From Dusk Till Dawn because I'm not the only one who's seen those like similarities and has pointed it out. So
That's really cool. It also reminded me of Rob Zombie's brother, Spider-One. He made, I don't know if it's a Shudder exclusive, but he made a movie called Bury the Bride. It's similar because it's like in the South and you have like these hicks and there's no hint at all of, it's like a big twist. And it's the same, like, I don't know. It really got me. I was like, holy shit, like redneck vampires.
I haven't seen that movie and now I know the twist.
Spoil that.
erase his mind.
You need to edit that in the... Fuck. Well,
Can't edit it out of my brain.
I'm sorry. Maybe edit it and add the fact that there's a similar twist
Right.
that was shocking. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's hard with these sort of movies because like I think the twist is a lot of why like this movie in particular is iconic and kind of stands the test of time because I really don't remember any other movie up until this point doing this sort of twist because I always remembered it as like Jill said, like a crime thriller. And then I thought that the ending was the twist, but this is like half the movie that it twists at.
It's not really even a twist. It's not like all of a sudden a character is the killer and you never would have expected that or anything. It's just like all of a sudden it just turns just like, you know, Salma Hayek, her face transforms and now we're dealing with vampires. The entire tone of the movie changes from like sort of serious and a bit disturbing even in parts to silly, you know, guitar players playing severed torso guitars and
That part's
dick
so
guns
good.
and, you know, I love the band was great.
Oh my
The whole
God.
thing was great.
Yes.
Nathan, you sparked something in my mind because years later, Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino would go on to do the Grindhouse movie with Planet Terror being the first movie and Death Proof being the second movie, right? And
I haven't seen these.
Okay,
but
I'm not going to spoil them for you.
Okay.
But Robert Rodriguez directed the first one, Planet Terror, which was very much like this grindhouse B movie, you know, fast pace, kind of what this scene in the Titty Twister is with the vampires and stuff.
Yeah, everything in the Titty
Tarantino-
Twister is very B movie.
100%. And Quentin Tarantino directs Death Proof, which is more to the first part of this movie. So just thinking about that now, my mind is blown.
That's a really good comparison. Yeah, I really liked both of those too because they were very like short pace, like quick paced and they're short.
In that situation, they were like 100% separate movies. This kind of combines them into one. So it's unique. I mean, you have to give them credit for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, although I think one of the advantages of this movie basically being two movies is I do think this movie is very fast paced. Maybe, Jill, you disagree because you were waiting for vampires and it took an hour to get to the vampires.
I was like, yeah.
But in my opinion, not a moment is wasted in this movie, especially if you're not waiting for a particular moment to happen. Like the whole crime thriller thing is like just compelling scene after compelling scene. And then, of course, you have that Tarantino dialogue throughout the whole thing. And Tarantino dialogue is masterful.
Look, you asked me to act natural, I'm acting natural. In fact, under the circumstances, I think I had to get a fucking Academy Award for how natural I'm acting. You asked me to get rid of him, I'm doing my best.
Well, your best better get a hell of a lot fucking better, or you are going to feel a hell of a lot fucking worse.
Every character, you just believe that they're that character, whether they're horrible or nice, mostly horrible. The thing is, nobody talks like that, and it still feels natural, and it's funny, you know, and it's funny, and it breaks the tension when you have something horrific going on. Yeah, I just love Tarantino's dialogue. You know, I'm not as big a Tarantino fan as a lot of people are, but there's no denying that if people are talking in his movies, your eyes are glued to it.
I have a unique like Tarantino experience because this is one of the first, maybe the first Tarantino movie I ever saw. And I really liked it a lot. And then I would go on to see like Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs and things like that.
Right.
But I was always looking for kind of that twist of like the vampires and something like different. And I didn't get
When
that.
are the werewolves showing up?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. You know where I got that? I got that like recently, a few years back with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I had to wait a while. Not to spoil that.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that one either.
Oh yeah, I recommend it, but it is a different kind of movie too.
The problem with trying to watch a Tarantino movie you haven't seen is that they're all 3 hours long. So you have to cut out that time.
You have to commit to it. I want to touch on what you said because I do think this gets us right into the story, like right away, because you have the cop who's talking to the convenience store owner at the beginning. And they're kind of talking about, you know, did you hear about the murders, blah, blah, blah.
I guess you heard about that shit up in Abilene. Bank robbery.
It's all it's been on the box all day. It killed some people, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
being ableist in the meantime, and you know.
Yeah. And then they're right there,
awful.
you know, and here comes, and then we're introduced to Seth and Richie right away. I want to get your thoughts on Seth and Richie because their dynamic is very, I think, like realistic in a way, but also they're two like complete different psychopaths sort of deal.
Right.
Jill, what did you think of Seth and Richie?
I thought they were really funny, and I like the dynamic, like you said. Like you have one guy who is kind of morally corrupt, and he's judging this other guy who is questionably more morally corrupt.
This is not me. I am a professional fucking thief. I don't kill people that I don't have to, and I don't fucking rape women. What you are fucking doing.
And it creates a fun kind of dynamic, and it's kind of like you have like the smart one and the dumb one, like with two villains. That's why I felt like I was watching like Home Alone.
You left the water running, didn't you? What's wrong with you? Why do you do that? I told you not to do it.
Harry, it's our calling card.
You know,
that's a good comparison.
Yeah,
so I thought it.
You know,
I thought it was funny. What did you think, Kevin?
I really got like the big brother, little brother dynamic from their interactions, especially with Seth telling him, you know, put in your mouth guard and
Put in your bed.
I grind my teeth.
I grind my teeth.
I love Scott's reaction. He's like, It's like, should I laugh or probably not a good idea. Seth, I think, I mean, obviously George Clooney, he's so charismatic, but he is such a good, believable bad guy too, because he can bullshit his way out of anything. If you, you know, he knows how to talk, but also from his actions in this movie, we know that he is like certifiably insane too. It's just, I think he straddles that line better than Richie, whereas Richie is just certifiably insane. And like, if he didn't have Seth there to balance him out, who knows what he would be doing, really. And obviously you get that scene where Richie raped and killed that hostage they had, and like Seth was like flipping the shit out at him. But then at the end of the day, it's his brother. So he's like, yeah.
And that scene with the flashes of what's going on, you don't really see it.
A woman wouldn't have said shit if she had a mouthful of it.
Wrong. Yeah. After you left, she became a completely different person.
Yeah.
It allows your imagination to go wild, which is awesome. Yeah, I think George Clooney's performance as Seth, it's important that despite him being a disgusting and horrible character, that he also be likable in some ways. And George Clooney manages to pull that off. And I feel like if George Clooney hadn't managed to pull that off, if he wasn't George Clooney, I feel like this movie wouldn't be good, because you would just hate any other actor playing a character who would do these kinds of things.
Right.
And then, of course, Richie is not likable at all. He is just outright crazy. He also hallucinates things. So I think he is some sort of like schizophrenic or something like that, as well as being a psychopath.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he mouthed "help us," and like you watch the movie, no, he didn't. And he spouts off about, oh, she became a totally different person after you left, and that's why I had to rape and murder her in a horrific way.
Yeah. And same with the daughter, when he thinks she, you know, suggested something dirty and she didn't.
Richie, would you do me a favor and eat my pussy for me, please?
Sure.
Yeah. Hallucination that we saw actually through his lens, but we can just kind of like put it together that it didn't actually happen.
What did I say at the hotel?
Do you mean what you said back there in the room?
What?
I gotta say, I think that was the first time I ever heard a girl use the pussy word. Like, so this was an eye-opening film, but then the word
that wasn't
pussy
the most
is
eye-opening
used
part, though.
Over and over.
Yeah.
The word pussy has got to be used the most in this movie ever. No?
All right, pussy, come on in, pussy lovers.
It's used more than the word "the."
Oh my goodness. Another thing I really loved is how Seth is trying to kind of find some sort of law and rules within his like psychopathic world, you know, because first he gives the hostage his rules to survive.
I'm going to ask you one question, and all I want is a yes or no answer. Do you want to live through this?
Yes.
Good. Rule number 1, no noise.
And he kind of does the same thing with the family when he meets up with them too. And he also does something where he goes, I give you my word, and it mirrors with both situations too.
You hang in there, you follow the rules, and you don't fuck with us, and you'll get out of this alive. I give you my word. You get us into Mexico, and you don't try to escape, and your daughter will be safe, and in the morning I will let you go. I give you my word, Jacob.
Like his word means something.
The problem is that Richie doesn't follow his word. So, you know, at this whole time, there's this threat of Richie popping off and not following the plan and not keeping Seth's word.
I give you my word.
That woman tried to escape, and I did what I had to do.
And the fact that he's giving his word and trying to help these people through this, well, that's the wrong way of putting it, but he's trying to keep these people alive through what he's doing to them. Unfortunately, it makes it more likable. I'm sorry, it does. He's a likable character, even though everything he does is awful.
Yeah, because I mean, he even has small talk with Jacob in the RV and stuff, and Jacob at one point just stops.
Yeah.
He's like, I've had enough of this getting to know each other shit.
I think I've gotten about as up close and personal with you as I'm gonna get.
Let's just keep this friendly, okay, Pops?
Like, I know Seth was being kind of pushing the button of the wife being dead and stuff like that, but
right.
Like, at the same time, you're right though. He is likable in his own fucked up way.
Yeah.
Why though? Seth knows how rich he is. Why is he leaving Richie alone with the girl there? What's her name? Kate. I would have them separated if I was Seth.
Seth is still, he's a bad guy. Like, he's going to get mad at Richie for doing something, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything for him. He's still a nasty, murdering criminal, so
Do you know?
That's why he's not that concerned at the end of the day.
Do you know who he reminds me of? Negan from The Walking Dead. Like, just a very charismatic bad guy.
Where's Rick?
I'm
Don't care. Where's Rick?
Right.
He's horrible, but you just have to love him.
Yeah, I don't watch The Walking Dead, so I'll have to take your word for it, but I get what you're saying.
You should look up a video. I'll have to send you one later to show you with the dialogue and the delivery, because it also goes with the quote I'm going to talk about later. But yeah, we'll talk about that later.
I mean, to Nathan's point, having this kind of charismatic bad guy, it makes the movie. It really does. Like, if you don't have that part and an actor who can pull it off.
Yeah, it helps that he looks like George Clooney too, is the thing.
Whereas Richie looks like a fucking sleaze. Like,
well, he looks like Quentin Tarantino, and Tarantino is a bit of a sleaze. So, I mean, he wrote this movie and he has a foot fetish, and he wrote Salma Hayek putting her foot into his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And he wrote the fucking, Juliette Lewis's foot, too. Why'd she have bare feet he's looking at?
You know why?
Because Quentin Tarantino gets to look at her feet because he wrote it that way.
What did you guys think of the family dynamic between Jacob being this retired minister, Kate being the how old do you think Kate was? Did they say?
The only clue that they really give is she says, I'm not 21 yet.
Okay.
So I'm guessing 19 or 20. I don't think she's for some reason, I feel like she's not 16, but she's definitely very young. But we don't know how old Scotty is either. I feel like he's 15, 16.
Oh, he's adopted for sure.
Well, yeah.
He's Japanese, right?
Or Chinese.
Oh, God.
How's that happen? You don't look Japanese.
Neither does he. He looks Chinese.
He doesn't look Japanese either. He's Chinese.
There's a lot of racial jokes in this movie.
Yeah. Tarantino goes there, He's not afraid to write a character to be an asshole and have him be an asshole in that way.
So what did you think of their dynamic together on the road in the RV? Gill, did you find them interesting, or did you kind of think they're just kind of cannon fodder to be murdered by these guys?
I didn't think they were cannon fodder because I could tell that Seth and Richie, well, maybe not Richie, Seth. Yeah, we'll stick to Seth. Cared about them, the kids and everything. And even though he said he didn't care, probably multiple times, you can tell he does. And he is looking out for him. So adds another likability point to him. So I kind of like the weird back and forth between them all. It was kind of cute.
Nathan, what do you think of Harvey Keitel as Jacob?
Well, Harvey Keitel is an incredibly talented actor. I don't think I've ever seen him do anything I didn't like. I liked Jacob's character a lot, how he was just sort of lost and grieving but also trying to protect his family. Scotty, he didn't really have a lot of characteristics to him. Kate was cool. She had the same problem as Scotty until all of a sudden she went badass towards the end of the movie. You know, so Jacob was pretty great. The kids were fine. They just like at Jurassic Park. They just sort of they did their jobs by being in danger. So
I'd say they were pretty like realistic. Like like in that situation, what's like a teenager gonna do? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
I don't know what it is about Juliette Lewis, but I'm attracted to her like in everything I see her in. And I can't put my finger on it. I don't know.
She's amazing in Natural Born Killers.
Yes.
Even though I don't really like Natural Born Killers all that much, she's hot in that movie. So
she's also in one of my favorites with Brad Pitt called California, which is kind of a on the road serial killer movie. So another one of those. Maybe because she's associated with like these kind of movies too.
Yeah, she's always playing somebody a little bit. Well, I guess in Natural Born Killers, she plays an actual psychopath. So that's pretty hot.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like Scotty at all. I thought he was just like good for nothing sort of deal. Well, I guess like you said, they are kids and stuff, but I thought it was super funny when they got into Mexico and Seth was like, he was like, "We did it, you little shit."
We're fucking in Mexico, you little piece of fucking shit.
That just reminds me of this one line that I loved.
Where are you taking us?
Mexico.
What's in Mexico?
Mexicans.
Mexicans. Then later, George Clooney, or later Seth is like, "We're Mexicans."
Isn't that when Richie wakes up and he's like, "Hey, we're Mexicans"? And that was so funny too. He was like, "What happened?"
Passed out. Yeah? You said something about your hand hurting, and then you just hit the ground like a sack of potatoes.
Really?
Head hit the toilet, scared the shit out of me.
And he was like, "You passed out. You said something about your hand. You hit your head on the toilet. I was so worried about you."
Scared the shit out of me.
I got to get your opinions on the Titty Twister, because this place, I mean, looks like something out of, I don't know, Mad Max, come to Vegas, come to this world, apparently. What are your thoughts on the Titty Twister? Is it somewhere you would go? Jill, what do you think? Would you go visit the Titty Twister?
Yeah, 100%, because in the beginning, it looked really sleazy from the outside when you got the guy out there, like, you know, announcing what kinds of pussy are inside.
We got hairy pussy, bloody pussy, we got snapping pussy.
Then you get to see the inside, and it's magnificent. The ladies are classy, they're elegant. Women of the night. I love the performance with the snake. My question was, is that the same snake that Britney Spears danced with? His name was Banana?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
It would be like a show kind of snake, right? So,
I mean, this came out in 96. When
she did that like 1998 or something.
Maybe you're right. I thought it was much later.
No. I'm a Slave for You came out when we were in high school, Kevin and I, for sure. It had to be in the 2000s. Yeah, it came out in 2001. So there really wasn't that much time between the two. So I suppose, I don't know how long those big ass snakes live. Although they had the same snake in the upstairs of Shop Therapy for like over a decade. So I don't know.
Could be the same snake.
It could be the same snake.
Could be.
But yeah, beautiful place on the inside of the Titty Twister. Would frequent it, probably. What do you guys think?
I think it's a vibe.
Yeah, it is a vibe.
I don't know if I'd go there, though. Back when I was drinking, maybe I'd go there. But nowadays, definitely not. Then again, you also get kicked out if you're not a trucker, and I'm not a trucker. So, you know.
What if you have a license that we don't know about?
I don't have that license. I do not
That was
own
funny as hell, by the way.
I have a recreational vehicle.
If you look outside your door in your parking lot, you'll see a big recreational vehicle. That's mine. In order to drive that legally, you need a Class 2 driver's license.
You know what? I love like the little arc that happens here because, you know, the family kind of buys into these killers.
A little bit, yeah.
They kind of help them out at times. Even Richie, like there's a scene where Richie is going to get hit from behind or whatever. And Kate's like, Richie, look out.
Richie, look out!
Why do you care what happens to this guy? It's kind of like they become a little family in a way.
Yeah, it's almost like this is a terrifying adventure, but it's an adventure.
I want to get to, Jill had mentioned it, the dance, because this dance by, what is her, I know it's Salma Hayek, but her stage name is Satanico Pandemonium. So she does this amazing dance with a snake. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, she steals the spotlight here for sure, right?
Anytime she's on screen during this movie, your eyes are locked on her, even when she turns into a scary vampire. It's just an incredible performance. She is amazingly gorgeous. Yeah, Salma Hayek, goddess.
Mm-hmm.
She can turn me into a vampire anytime she wants.
That wouldn't be a bad way
Call
to
me
go.
Spot.
Since you'll be my dog, your new name will be Spot.
You know?
May I say that I feel like maybe it helped inspire Queen Akasha in Queen of the Damned. Like the movements and, you know what I mean? Like, and they're both technically vampires. So,
right.
I
haven't seen Queen of the Damned either, to be honest with you. I know.
Yeah, I don't know if you would like it, honestly. But
No?
I don't know. It's not great, but I love it.
Probably find out someday.
We're going to cover it. I just had seen an interview with Salma Hayek, and she said she was deathly afraid of snakes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
I
for
heard
this
this.
scene, she was put under trance to do the dance. So she's kind of under a spell while she's putting you under a spell.
That's really cool, actually. It's very trancey.
It's got that
even the
awesome
music.
blue song going on underneath.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The soundtrack to this movie is incredible, by the way. I love all that shit. ZZ Top, Stevie Ray Vaughan, love it.
I mean, the other thing about this movie, like we talked about, is they do have like a little arc where they kind of come together here because they got to fight off all the vampires. I mean, technically, Richie and Seth haven't changed who they are, right? I mean, even at the end, Seth is who Seth is. Like, he hasn't really changed. But they kind of put together, like I said, this family to go after and survive against these vampires. And then they get a little help along the way from Sex Machine.
Sex Machine. Pleased to meet you, Kate.
Who's Tom Savini. Frost, who is Fred Williamson.
Fred Williamson, yeah.
To me, like as a little kid especially, this was such a badass scene because they all come together. They're all like, we're fighting vampires. I love when Seth's like giving him a pep talk. He's like,
I don't want to hear anything about, I don't believe in vampires. Because I don't fucking believe in vampires. But I believe in my own two eyes. And what I saw is fucking vampires.
we know what these are. These are vampires.
These are vampires, yeah.
What'd you think of them all coming together here to fight off the vampires? Jill, did you like this scene? Finally, you get your vampire action, right?
I did. It was creative. I like the, creative ways they use to fight off the vampires. Like Jacob, when he uses his gun and like a stick or something and makes the cross, but he actually uses
shotgun,
the cross to like reload the gun.
Right.
I thought that was really cool. Just makes me sad because I just want the vampires to win. So I was just like, damn, these vampires are dying. But other than that, very cool.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Nathan, what's your thoughts?
I mean, that's a lot of what I loved about this too. The creative weaponry, the makeshift weaponry is great. I mean, the holy water in the condoms as like holy water balloons. That's hilarious and awesome. The fact that the dad is bit this whole time and you know that he's like a ticking time bomb, but you keep him alive because more numbers.
And I'll probably turn to vampire within the hour.
adds some tension. And then the special effects are all so far over the top.
Yeah.
And so silly and so B-movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of that is just wonderful. I love that stuff.
I thought the effects were like perfect for this sort of movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Because
for sure.
it has like that cheesiness, but like some scary stuff too. Like when Sex Machine kind of regenerates into this rodent like vampire.
Mm-hmm.
That was sketchy as hell.
That was so great.
No, I was kind of shitting on, I wasn't trying to shit on it, but like the vampires, you know, them being like the Buffy sort of vampire. But I think that's what makes it unique, I guess, and makes it what it is. I think it would be super boring if they were like, you know, like Twilight vampires or something.
Right.
Like the effects of those dying would be way less cool.
And to your point, these vampires seem very like ancient and like almost monster like too, right? Because I mean, we do get the shot at the end of this like set on an ancient Aztec like pyramid sort of deal. I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, I mean, if they were just like Twilight vampires, this wouldn't have this.
It'd be so boring. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have that type of vampire melt into green paste. It's not going to work as well as the monsters melting into green paste and then lighting on fire. And Jesus, it's all so over the top. It's just constant as well.
Yeah, it keeps going and going and going. That's what I thought, like originally in my head, because I hadn't seen this movie in a while, that it was just like the last 15, 20 minutes, but it's a long time.
It's like a full 45 minutes of just fighting vampires and watching vampires melt. And
Do you know who did the effects?
Yes, and he's in the movie.
Tom Savini?
Is it Tom Savini?
No, it's
What?
No? Oh, okay.
Greg Nicotero.
What? Where is he in the movie?
He is with Tom Savini in the bar before they all turn vampire. He looks like Fun Boy.
Oh.
He looks exactly like Fun Boy from The Crow.
The Crow?
I thought it was Fun Boy.
Right.
I was like, Fun Boy? The fuck? What the fuck are you supposed to be, man?
Well, they're bros. So it
Jesus
makes
Christ
sense.
walks into a bar.
And Danny Trejo in the vampire makeup. It was amazing, by the way. I just thought that
Danny
was so funny.
Trejo.
I love
Awesome.
Danny Trejo so much. Like he just, every time I see him, I'm like, he just looks like the character he's gonna play. And it's the same character every movie that he does. But you know,
Happy to be
he's
here.
like,
yeah,
he's a Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino regular, right? Because he just did Desperado, right? What year was Desperado?
Yeah, he was. It was a couple of years before this one.
93, yeah.
93, yeah. Salma Hayek was also in Desperado. He likes casting Salma Hayek. She had a much bigger role in Desperado, of course, but
this was much more an iconic role.
I don't know. I really love Desperado. Desperado might be my favorite Robert Rodriguez movie.
I love Desperado too, but I'll tell you what, when I saw her in this movie, that VHS got a lot of rewinding. I was like,
Oh, God. Goodness.
Well,
Sticky
like,
and everything.
She gets naked in Desperado, though.
Does she?
Yeah, she has a whole sex scene with the boobies out and everything.
It's the dark
I might
vibe
have to
that
cover-
Kevin likes. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Different vibe.
I was like, I think I like Spanish women. I'm not sure. Originally, her role was going to go to Madonna, I read.
I don't know. Madonna, she can do the sexy thing. She can do dark too, but I don't know. I think Salma Hayek it just works better for this. I hate to say it, but Madonna being white as hell, I don't think would work for this particular.
Sour
you know what
cream.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything, but I mean, they're in Mexico,
Yeah.
So,
she had a similar kind of role too in Dick Tracy as well, with like the dancing and everything. And so I don't know. I feel like that would have came off very same thing sort of deal.
I've never seen Dick Tracy, so
gotta see it.
I know. We're coming up with
I
a lot
do
of
want to
movies I haven't
ask.
seen this episode.
Nathan's making a list.
I know, right?
What's your thoughts on the ending? Because at the end, we get Carlos, who they were waiting for,
Cheech Marin
shows
again.
up, which is Cheech. And then what I love is he's like, hey, like, what happened in there?
What the fuck was going on in there?
No, he's great. I mean, it's just like, it almost feels down to earth that it would end like that. It's just like, it ended because daytime came and, you know, and they were able to get the door open with the daytime. And then Cheech Marin was just kind of an asshole, Carlos there. You know, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, I mean, I love too how like the whole place is basically on fire. They actually in real life set the building or the facade on fire for real by mistake.
Yeah.
And
I heard this story as well.
They had to put it out. So like when you look at the building and it's all charred, like that legit happened.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. They filmed the explosion scene first.
Yeah.
And they lit on fire by accident and they had to rebuild the whole set because the special effects guy put in way more explosives than he should have. It wasn't supposed to light on fire at all.
Dang.
So they filmed that scene out of order from what they were originally intending on filming it at the end where it's all charred.
Rookie mistake.
It's cool though, because like you get that kind of big fire implosion. And then, like you said, back to reality. I mean, and again, Seth doesn't really change. He's doing what he's going to do, right?
No.
Jill, did you think that this was going to be like kind of a happy ending where Kate was going to go with Seth and everything?
I didn't really expect a happy ending. So, no, I wasn't like surprised. Yeah.
Were you surprised who made it out alive?
Not really. Go to Nathan.
Yeah.
I don't have anything exciting to say.
I mean, this ending is extremely bleak. I will say that much.
You just picked this place out of a hat. My brother is dead. That girl's entire fucking family is dead.
Poor Kate's whole family is dead now. And yeah, this movie, you figure it out pretty quickly that this movie has no moral compass. Nobody changes. Nobody learns any lessons. This movie is about doing crime and then fighting vampires. And there's nothing to be learned.
That's it.
And that's what's so great about it to me. People who don't deserve it do die. People who do deserve it don't die. Although there is some poetic justice in Richie being killed by a woman. But, you know.
That's true.
You know.
I thought
but other than that, this movie has
worse.
no real justice. Like,
I like this ending because I think this is like, I know it's a movie and a crazy movie at that, but it's a realistic ending. Like if they had a happy ending where Kate kisses Seth and they're like happy go lucky and we're gonna be whatever now, like it would be weird. It would be weird.
That doesn't make any sense. Seth is the reason her dad and her brother died. She wanted to go with him for a minute because she didn't know what else to do.
And he might be a bastard.
Maybe a bastard, but I'm not a fucking bastard.
But I'm not a fucking bastard.
It's cool because I had seen this pointed out that Scott is wearing a assault Precinct 13 shirt, and this has a very kind of assault on Precinct 13 feel to it.
At the end it does, yeah.
Yeah. The good guys and the bad guys have to come together to thwart off the evil. You know what? I have one thing, and I forgot to mention this. Did you see who played a freaking cameo in this? Like, as his role?
Cheech Marin 3 times?
Not Cheech. John Saxon.
That the Bureau, the Rangers, and the police force are taking this manhunt personally?
I would say that's a very safe assumption.
Do you know who John
that's
Saxon?
Right. Yeah, we didn't talk about that news report. That news report was silly. Where you're like putting up the
like the death count
statistics on how many people have died, and then all of a sudden John Saxon's there, like, yeah, we'll get him within 48 hours. You know,
he's always playing a lieutenant. Always.
Yeah. He's always playing the lead cop. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. I wish he would have said, Nancy, get back to bed.
Sex Machine does the gets bitten and doesn't tell anybody trope.
Yeah.
Gotta have one.
Gotta have somebody do that, you know.
I gotta
and
ask
then, like
you
Jill
both.
was saying, when he did finally transform, it was just hilarious. Like,
yeah.
And then his hand goes and he's like,
actually, that was such a cool kill scene too, where he comes up from behind Frost and all you saw were his gnarly fingers.
That's cool. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
I got to ask you both, and I also want to pose this question to our audience. If you were in this situation, you're at the Titty Twister, and vampires are everywhere, and you get bit, what would you do? Would you be telling other people, or would you keep that to yourself?
Keeping that shit to myself.
Of course you are.
I am.
You're reading the book. You're keeping it to yourself.
If I tell people that I've been bitten, they're going to kill me. I don't want that.
But you should die.
I want to live. I'm joining the other side now.
We're all
I have
dying.
no choice, but, you know.
We're all dead. Nathan gonna kill us all.
God damn it. Every time.
I wouldn't even have a choice. Next thing I know, Nathan's fangs are buried into me.
Good
His
way to go.
gnarly little hands.
You guys can be together and terrorize everybody else.
Right.
Listen, the three of us could be like Interview with the Vampire.
Am I the little girl? Are you guys the gay couple? And I'm your adopted daughter?
I haven't seen this movie. I had no idea that
I was
that was
actually-
the dynamic.
Nathan, put up the picture.
I guess I'll put up the picture now. I don't know how to
I call
pose.
Tom-
I've never seen the movie.
I call Tom Cruise.
Isn't Brad Pitt an asshole? That's what I've heard.
You're Brad Pitt.
Ah, damn it.
But you're hot, though.
You got the long hair.
At least I'm not a Scientologist, I guess.
At least.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Jill's just a little bit older Kirsten Dunst.
Just a little bit older, I guess.
I mean, she's like 50 now, so.
She's such a brat in that movie.
Well, she's a vampire. She's a little vampire girl.
I guess.
Oh,
What
man.
were we talking about before that?
I don't
Would you-
remember it all.
would you tell people you were bit?
Would you tell people you were
I would
bit?
myself.
Oh. But then you would still come back from.
Really?
You'd have to stake yourself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I would stake myself because I have no will to live. What would you do, Kevin?
I'd go out like Jacob here. Like, I'd just
Okay, that's
take all
honorable.
them vampires. I'd take all them on, and be like, all right.
You need a strong will, though, in order to, like, overcome the urge. You know what I mean?
The urge to bite?
Did Jacob?
Yeah.
Jacob didn't really overcome the urge at all, though, did he? When I think about it, didn't he just all of a sudden turn?
Yeah, he just turned.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
cool scene, though, too, where the vampires backed off of him.
Yeah, that was cool.
Because he turned. But that reminds me, why did Frost and the band just spontaneously combust?
Because they weren't going to let them get killed by the other people. So they're like, peace out. We kill ourselves.
That's what I would
So
choose.
great. Oh, my
It was really
God.
funny. That was a great scene.
Now let's kill that fucking band.
Fuck you, everybody. Good night.
Cinema.
Fuck you, everybody. Good night. Explodes.
Thank you,
Oh,
Titty
yeah.
Twister. You've been too good to us. Damn.
Yes.
Encore. They can't. They're in pieces.
Dead.
Literally.
The torso guitar. I can't get over the torso guitar.
Oh, yeah. It's so good.
Scotty played a real nice vintage guitar in that hotel there. A little silver tone.
I believe that was Robert Rodriguez's actual guitar.
Dang.
Oh, that makes sense. Because I looked it up. They only made those guitars from like 58 to 62 or something like that. So a real nice little vintage piece there. It looked beautiful.
The behind the scenes stuff showed Robert Rodriguez like playing a guitar 95% of the time. So I just assumed.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's right.
I mean,
Sorry.
maybe, probably.
Yeah.
No, I just thought that scene was really funny because, again, like that's what a shitty little teenager would be doing. And the
Right.
door is being knocked on and he's just like not even paying attention or listening.
He can't
And
hear
then
it because he's on the guitar with the amp and the headphones.
Exactly. And the dad makes a comment like,
yeah,
hope you're having a good time or like whatever.
I hope none of this is disturbing you.
Such a dad comment.
Yeah.
Think it's time for quote or kill. We're going to give you our favorite quote in the movie or our favorite kill in the movie or both. My favorite quote is from Seth at the end. He goes,
Why, out of all of the godforsaken shitholes in Mexico, do we have to meet here?
One place is just as good as another.
One place is just as good as another. Like, I just love the ending. Like, matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you never been here? He's like, no. Drove by a couple
passed it a
times.
few times, you know.
Thought about it.
I actually have another favorite quote because I thought this was too good, where Scott was like, all you got to do is put two sticks together and you got to cross.
Yeah, he's right. Peter Cushing does that all the time. Okay, I'll buy that.
Okay, I'll buy that. Okay.
You know, they don't know anything about vampires. They're just learning from the movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And in
Like,
fairness,
Jacob
that's what
said.
we all would do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would follow the classic rules to a T until they failed me. Then I'd be like, maybe we should figure something else out. Or I'd be dead. The more likely scenario would be I was dead, honestly.
And kill
because
everybody
the rules
else
failed
because
me.
you're a vampire.
Take them with you.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
My favorite kill is Sex Machines because it's like a huge long scene where he gets the whip around his head. The head comes off. The head gets stabbed. Then he regenerates into that rodent-like vampire monster. It's crazy. I love the effects and everything that goes with it. And I love kind of the callback to him always using the whip, and then he gets the whip used on him. So I love when stuff like that happens. That's Chekhov's whip.
Right. Just like Chekhov's penis gun earlier, you know.
Got to use the penis gun. Jill, how about you?
I have the same favorite kill. I just was so gagged by Tom Savini as the Sex Machine, his entire role. He looks so goofy in like the special effects, but it's like, it's just his eyes. Like you can't mistake Tom Savini's eyes. And then with like all this like prosthetics and stuff on, it just cracks me up. Like I love him. My favorite quote is the banter between Seth and Jacob when they're talking about like Jacob being with his son and being like,
How's that happen? You don't look Japanese.
Neither does he. He looks Chinese.
Oh, well, excuse me, all the hell.
oh, well, excuse me, all to hell.
This is a scene where I have a gun on you. I don't care about that.
I thought it was really funny because it reminded me so much of Negan from The Walking Dead. Like he kind of says the same sort of thing.
Well, pardon me, young man, and excuse the shit out of my goddamn French, but did you just threaten me?
But also, it really reminded me of banter you would hear in Pulp Fiction. And I really like the Pulp Fiction kind of elements of the movie. That really worked for me. What about you, Nathan? Quote or kill?
My favorite quote is all of the dialogue in the movie because
The whole thing.
It's also the whole thing. No, it's just so perfect. Actually, it's around the time of Kevin's first quote where Cheech Marin and Carlos they're talking about having picked this place, and Carlos goes, "What? Were they psychos?"
What, were they psychos or?
They look like psychos? Is that what they look like? They were vampires. Psychos do not explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are.
I don't care how crazy they are. I thought that was pretty great. Not to cheat and pick two quotes, but the whole speech he had where, don't tell me you don't believe in vampires, because I don't believe in vampires. But I don't believe what I just saw, and those were vampires. All of that is great. I love that. My favorite kill is Richie first getting killed, not the second time Richie is killed.
Fucking shit!
Just because it's the one that sets everything off. It's the one where you're going, wait, what? Because Salma Hayek's face just turns into this reptile-like vampire face.
Yeah.
And like there was no sign whatsoever of there being anything supernatural in this movie at all up until that one special effect. I don't know. I just remember as a younger teenager blown away by that. Like, holy shit. Especially since I saw it on TV too. I just kind of was like, oh, I see Tarantino here. Was not expecting that. Also, the poetic justice of the guy who is a sex offender being killed by a woman who just stuck her foot in his mouth.
Yeah.
I like that too.
That's nice.
I wish he got it worse though.
Well, he did die twice, so
It could have been worse. He could have survived.
Not told anybody that he was bit.
Like you would do.
Like I would do.
Yeah.
You're
Don't
gonna
trust
kill
him.
me if I tell you that I'm bit.
Yeah.
It's true.
So,
It's time for our final rating. We're going to rate this movie from 1 to 5 stars. 5 is Salma Hayek's dance. 1 is Snappin' Pussy.
We got snapping pussy.
I don't know what Snappin' Pussy is, but it sounds like teeth. And that movie freaks me out.
I haven't seen that movie either. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Another
it's
one
decent.
to add.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Nightmares.
It's not great, but
Nightmares.
it's decent.
I'm giving From Dusk Till Dawn. Oh man, I'm like a 4-star slut for our show.
Yeah.
Give me another
here we
4
go.
stars. I think this is in the upper echelon of horror movies, period. I do love the twist. Is this the first horror movie that subverted expectations a little bit? It's got to be one of the first, at least. I mean, Psycho obviously is like the gold standard, but
It's one of the only movies that is like this, to be honest with you. Where it just turns into an entirely different movie at the end. Not even at the end, halfway through. You can name other movies with twists, but it's not going to be like this one.
Yeah, for sure. Because like Scream would come out also this year, and that was a different twist as well. So it's this is very original. I love the atmosphere. You know, the titty twister for like the second half of the movie really being in was great. You know, George Clooney deserves a lot of praise for this movie. He was really, really good in this movie. I know he gets shit on a lot, but I thought his acting was phenomenal in this, along with the rest of the cast, because like Harvey Keitel is great. You know, and even Quentin Tarantino, he plays his role perfectly because he is a like scummy guy you love to hate. Yeah, 4 stars. I think like this is a movie I would rewatch and recommend to people. It's not my ultimate favorite, but I think it's definitely worth the watch. Quentin Tarantino wise, this is probably one of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies, or written by him at least as well.
Right.
But yeah, that's it for me. How about you, Jill?
Ooh, no pressure. I liked the acting. I thought George Clooney was really good. I talked about Tom Savini. I thought he was hilarious. I thought the twist was cool. I thought the special effects were probably the highlight of this, besides, the women vampires at the club. But not really my cup of tea. I was waiting for that tonal shift. I was kind of taken aback. I was like, am I watching the right movie? Where are the vampires? What is this like action kind of movie? So I think that kind of maybe like ruined my watch just with those expectations. But I feel like I would feel differently if I gave this some time and I went back to it to watch it and appreciate it for what it is. So I am going to give From Dusk Till Dawn 2.5 stars. It's not a bad movie by any means. It's just not really up my kind of alley of the kind of subgenre I would go for. What do you rate it, Nathan?
I am also on 4 stars. Actually, I love everything about this movie. It's not really my favorite Tarantino or my favorite Robert Rodriguez, but it's very unique, and I love how unique it is. I love the way it's written. I've raved about the dialogue enough already. What you said, Kevin, about George Clooney, I didn't know people shit on George Clooney. I guess I get it. He does play a similar character in every movie, and even in this one, he's playing a similar character to what he always plays, but doing horrible shit. His mannerisms are sort of the same, but it's always charismatic. It always works for me. I don't know. But yeah, 4 stars. I like this one a lot.
It's cool, like doing these sort of movies. I love finding out like where we're similar, the three of us, and where we kind of differ, because Nathan and Gill, you both are very similar in a lot of like what you like. And this is kind of the diverge. And this is more where me and Nathan are more similar.
Yeah. Jill, do you like other Tarantino movies, or is he just not like your guy?
No, I do. It's just, I think this movie, I just don't know what I was expecting. I just expected more vampires.
No, so, I get you. I was just wondering if like the whole crime thriller thing is just not your thing at all.
I can deal with it, but it's not my favorite thing out of everything. It's just, this one took like a long time for me to get there. And so I was like, okay, all this dialogue normally would be like my favorite part about the movie. But because I want vampires, this is taking away from the vampires.
Right.
So, yeah.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And like it's cool. Like you said, you have a very unique perspective on this movie, having seen the sequels first. And then seeing the movie. So I don't know. It's cool though. I like that you gave a different perspective than Nathan and me, who like went into this completely blind and had different ones.
Actually, the marketing for this movie told you that it was a vampire movie. I just happened to not see any of the marketing when I watched the movie, which it reminds me of the problem everybody had with Abigail, which I haven't seen that either. But I remember, I have the same feeling. Like, why did you tell me that? I didn't need to know that. And from what I understand, the whole setup of the movie is sort of like this, in that it takes a very long time for you to get to her as a vampire, and that it feels like it was set up to be a twist, something you weren't expecting. Even in the synopsis on the streamers, it tells you it's a vampire movie. It's like, don't do that. I don't know. I don't like that.
I think the difference, though, is in saturation versus oversaturation. And in the mid 90s, you didn't have that oversaturation. So like there was less chance of being able to see that twist of, at least what we were exposed to. Because obviously like movie fans and stuff would have seen Ebert's and different critics and things like that. But
even in Ebert's review, he's telling you that it's going to be a vampire movie at the end of it.
Before we end the episode, we're going to let you know what we've been up to. What have we been watching, reading, listening to, or gaming? I'm continuing my John Carpenter watch through, trying to get through all of his movies. So I watched 3 new John Carpenter movies I hadn't seen before. The first one was Someone's Watching Me, which was a TV film he had done in 1978, right before Halloween. This one was okay. I think there's a lot of like Halloween kind of similarities, and especially how he filmed certain scenes. So it is cool to see this movie. It's a very like timepiece movie, I would say. I gave it 3 stars on my Letterboxd. I think it's a decent watch, but it's not overly horror, so it's kind of in between, and it's a TV movie, so there's a little bit of a disconnect there. Right. I also watched Body Bags, which was really fun. And it's an anthology type of movie. There is one of the stories in it is called The Gas Station, and it's so freaking good. It's John Carpenter at his best. There's even references to it taking place in Haddonfield, which I love.
Nice.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
It makes me like interested in seeing like a Haddonfield show, like because they've been talking about the Halloween TV series for a while now, and I think if you did stories like this, it'd be so good. But you need Carpenter, because this is Carpenter. This is what he does. And he also stars in this one, too, as the storyteller. It has Mark Hamill in it. It has Wes Craven in it. It's really interesting.
Are all the stories directed by John Carpenter? No, right?
No, 2 are. And the last one is directed by Tobe Hooper.
Oh, okay.
So
another great.
Great. Yeah. So you have Carpenter, Hooper, Wes Craven does a cameo in it. in one of the stories. So it's really good. I gave it 3.5 stars. I highly recommend it. And last but not least was Christine, which holy cow, I love this movie. This is like one of my top Carpenter movies now. It's so good. Yeah, it's so good. The atmosphere is amazing. It has all the Carpenter stuff I love. The music is so good. He makes a car scary. Like, he makes it like a Michael Myers. I've never seen
not
it.
Erotic, Nathan. Scary.
Hold on. I read the book. That car is a little erotic in the book.
Nathan.
Anyway.
Oh, no.
Nathan.
I'm not wrong, am I, Kevin?
No, there's a great scene where there's a sexy scene with the car where he goes, show me. And he wants to see it. Oh,
yeah,
it's good.
To get me off of this podcast. A lot of car fucking.
I'm into the car fucking now.
I'm not the one who brought up the car fucking this time. You know?
I gave this movie 4.5 stars on my Letterboxd. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so good. It really is. I might want to cover it on the show at some point because it was really cool. That's it for me. How about you, Jill?
I just wanted to say real quick that both of the movies you just talked about, Christine and Potty Bags, are on my list. I haven't seen either, so it's kind of pushing
Watch
me.
them. Watch them.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. Like, I think if you like horror, I mean, this is the best of the best stuff. Like this, the way John Carpenter does his horror like this is second to none because I don't know. He makes this world and this atmosphere and puts you in it. Not many directors can do it. Like Steven Spielberg, we talked about Jurassic Park. He does it.
Yeah.
John Carpenter does it with this kind of horror.
Oh, yeah. Well, I just got back from Canada. I was up there for almost 2 weeks. While I was up there, I met up with Mike from It's Lay's podcast. We went to our friend's house, Willow and Trevor. Willow is sometimes on It's Lay's podcast with us, but she had purchased a 4K of The Craft, and we watched it.
Yeah.
And it was excellent in 4K. It looked so good. So if you're a fan of that movie, 4K.
And it's The Craft, so it
banger.
Looking good. It's just the cherry on top.
Yeah,
that point,
exactly.
Because it is still The Craft.
Yeah. I would have watched it on like 280p on a VHS. I don't care. The Craft is one of my favorite movies ever. I think this is the third time I've watched it this year. And it was cool to watch it with some of my friends. And we were just sitting around drinking. It was a good time. And while I was up there, I went to Cineplex to see 28 Years Later. Have any of you seen it yet?
No.
Okay.
I still need to see 28 Weeks Later. So.
Okay. Oh, which I also rewatched the night before I went to go see 28 Years Later.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like every time I talk about 28 days, 28 weeks later, it's always high in my memory. And then I go rewatch it and I'm like, oh, it didn't really age really well. Like, kind of looks bad. There's better like looking zombie movies out there at least, but the tone is always so like grungy and British. And I love that. 28 Years Later is probably, this is a hot take possibly, but probably my favorite of the three, so far. I was really excited to go see it. The trailers looked amazing, and it did not disappoint. Like the tone is still kind of holds true to the roots of having that like grungy sort of movie, and even some of the shots are the same, but it's much more polished. And I don't think it's polished in a way that fans of the franchise would feel disappointed.
Okay.
I think it's just kind of like evolved and had so much more depth to it with character arcs, with the plot, with themes. It was very theme heavy. It was actually quite deep compared to the other movies, and some of the cinematography is amazing. So yeah, I highly recommend going to see it in theaters. I think it's a perfect movie to go see this summer. It's worth the hype, in my opinion.
I was wondering how they were going to do the actual filming because like, even though the handheld cameras now, like they can do 4K, you know, it's not like back when the digital handheld cameras were all all looked like 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting. Did they do anything to sort of muck it up at all? Like to make it less clean than a modern movie?
Yeah, I would say the shots kind of hold true. Like they're very quick. Like it's not like other zombie movies where you get to see the zombies in shots for a long time. It's very like jerky still. And you don't get like quite a like full picture of the effects, but you can tell they're good.
Right.
But I think it still maintains the edge. But it has some brutal stuff in it. I don't know. It succeeded and surpassed my expectations. I really liked it.
I have to check it out.
Awesome.
I have to check out 28 Weeks Later first, though. So
yeah,
you know,
not so good, but
everybody says 28 Weeks Later is not great. 28 Days Later, I think is amazing, but I've sort of avoided Weeks because of the reception it got.
Yeah.
But I feel like in order to see Years, I got to see Weeks first. So
yeah.
You know.
No, I think also they're important movies for what they've done in like the kind of zombie scope of horror. Like they definitely inspired The Walking Dead, which is one of my favorite TV shows. And I feel like 28 Years Later had a couple of shots, I won't spoil them, that were kind of like maybe nods to certain scenes in The Walking Dead. So it's like it keeps going and like giving back and forth. And I don't know. I love that. But what have you been up to, Nathan?
I watched Mickey 17 hit, I think, Hulu, which is the latest from Bong Joon-ho, his first since Best Picture Oscar winner for Parasite. And it is all right.
Oh.
It is probably, along with Okja, my least favorite Bong Joon-ho film. But it's pretty good. I felt a little let down that, like, the trailer gave you this movie about clones. And I was thinking he was going to go into, like, all this ethics about cloning and stuff. And then it ended up being about colonialism and environmentalism, which are topics he's handled before in movies that I really like, but I was hoping for more exploration of the clone stuff. And I thought Mickey was going to die more, things like that, because I mean, that's the concept I was given.
In the trailer. We covered it. And I remember that being a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't that. And, you know, he's covering topics he's covered before, but he's covered them before better. You know, it's not a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 3 stars on my Letterboxd. Robert Pattinson is great. He's funny. A lot of people, I guess, didn't like him, but I disagree. Mark Ruffalo, I thought was great. A lot of people didn't like him either. And Toni Collette, I thought was great. So, you know, it's still a good movie. It just wasn't, it's no Parasite. It's no Memories of Murder, but it's, you know, it's good. Then, oh yes, It Slays covered Multiple Maniacs.
Oh yeah,
one of the first John Waters movies, and that inspired me to go back and watch a John Waters classic. I rewatched Female Trouble, which is a movie about a 16-year-old girl named Dawn Davenport. She's played by Divine. Who is a 30-year-old, 300-pound drag queen. She runs away from home, has a kid with a really horrible man, also played by Divine.
Yes.
And then things they get weird, and it is my favorite of believe it or not, they get a little strange. It is my favorite of the old John Waters movies. It's one I can actually watch over and over again because it's a lot more tame than some of the others. But it's still pretty gross and fucked up. There's some like close-ups of diseased looking penises and stuff, but unlike Pink Flamingos, you never see up anybody's rectum. So
that's cool.
Yeah. John Waters has a knack for writing the best dialogue ever for comedy. One of my particular favorite line from this one is, "I wouldn't suck your lousy dick if I was suffocating and there was oxygen in your balls."
Beautiful poetry.
It is just poetry. And when Mink Stoll throws a bowl of spaghetti at the wall, I cry laughing every time, especially when Divine comes up and starts beating her with a chair afterwards. It's great. If you have a chance to watch Female Trouble, I recommend it. Yeah. And like, I don't necessarily recommend some of his other work to everybody.
Fair.
But no, Female Trouble's great. My sister's children were visiting, so I watched Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
Yeah, these are right back to back on my Letterboxd here.
Oh boy.
I messaged Nathan
Female Trouble
and was like,
Lilo and Stitch.
I was like, your letterbox is quite the variety.
This was my first time watching Lilo and Stitch, actually. I've never seen it before.
And you watched the remake or not? The live
the
action?
original.
Oh,
the original.
okay.
No,
Sorry.
I'm not going to watch I sort of refuse to watch any of the live action remakes, to be honest with you. I haven't seen any of them.
Okay.
I don't see any reason for them to exist. But yeah,
Fair.
Lilo and Stitch it's a fun little movie. It's not my favorite Disney's ever put out. Like, I don't think this is as good as Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin, but it's fun. It's cute. Stitch is a complete asshole. Sort of wasn't expecting that.
One of my daughter's favorites.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, I get that. Your favorite is always the one that came out when you were the right age for it, I think, which is why I hold Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King in such high regard.
Same.
They're all good though. At the end of the day, pretty much.
Oh, and Hercules.
Hercules.
I was not the right age anymore at that point. So
that's so good.
I don't look at it the same way as I do those other three.
But Danny DeVito.
I know it's still good. I'm not saying it's not. It's still good.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good. But there's some that the ones at the right age, you cherish them.
That's true.
Hercules came out, I was in high school already, I believe. Although The Emperor's New Groove is one I hold in high regard, and that also came out when I was in high school. So I don't know.
Depends.
I love The Emperor's
I guess
New Groove.
It's hard not to love that movie. But yeah, that's pretty much it, other than I'm still playing Mario Kart.
Oh, same. I'm going to play after this. So wrap it up.
Me
I'm just
too,
kidding.
probably.
Well, that does it.
Because of Kevin's phone battery. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to check out any of our letterbox profiles and see what we're watching, we're going to have links down in the description for you. See what vile Nathan's rating 4 stars.
I rated Female Trouble 5 stars.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
That does it for our review on From Dusk Till Dawn. We'll be back with another episode, and we're going to be reviewing Gill's pick, Silent Hill. But until then, back to the padded room with you. Wait, Nathan, there's a vampire behind you.
Oh, no. So, bad news, sort of. Not really bad news, just awkward news.
Okay.
I just looked up